Harmonic Ascension. The resonance of infinite emotion. Prologue. Echoes of memory. The old recording played, crackling with the weight of forgotten memories. Maria Rodriguez's voice, Melody's grandmother, filled the small, cluttered apartment. Maria's recording. Remember, Mija. Music is not just sound. Music is the language of universes we cannot see. The dimensional collapse took everything. Languages. Cultures. Entire civilizations. But music. Music remembers. Melody's fingers traced the edges of an ancient sound crystal, its surface etched with patterns that seemed to move when you weren't looking directly at them. Outside, New Santiago pulsed with the electric hum of a city rebuilt from dimensional trauma. Chapter 1. The Frequency of Broken Worlds. Institute of Harmonic Studies, Research Wing. The lab was a cathedral of impossible technology. Holographic sound waves danced between crystalline interfaces, each pulse a delicate negotiation between human perception and something else. Dr. Elena Chen adjusted her neural interface, her fingers moving with the precision of a surgeon, the passion of an artist. Mel, look at this. The resonance patterns are shifting again. Melody Rodriguez stood frozen, her eyes reflecting multiple layers of reality. It's not just shifting, Elena. It's communicating. A sudden silence crashed through the room. Not the absence of sound, but something more profound, a pause filled with potential. Melody. Do you feel that? Quote. Elena. Feel what? Quote. Melody. Exactly. The nothing. It's alive. The first harmonic. Lumina appeared, not entered, not manifested, but simply was. A being of pure frequency, of emotion made visible. Lumina. You misunderstand music. You think it is something you create. We know it is something that creates you. The room trembled. Not with sound. With possibility. Elena. Whispering, my God. It's real. They're real. Melody. They've always been real. We just weren't listening. Chapter 2. Genetic Memory. Rodriguez Family Archives, Personal Memory Vault. Melody connected the sound crystal to an emotional translation matrix, a device that could read the emotional resonance of stored memories. Her grandmother's voice emerged, clearer now. Maria's recording. The dimensional collapse took everything. Languages. Cultures. Entire civilizations. But music. Music remembers. Fragmented images flickered. Refugees crossing dimensional boundaries. Cities dissolving into pure frequency. Memories becoming sound waves. Melody. What were you trying to tell me, Abuela? Quote. Chapter 3. The Quantum Harmonic Interface. Technical Specifications, Top Secret Research Log. The Empyrean Translation Interface was more than an instrument. It was a living technology that existed between biological and mechanical states. Elena. The crystal matrix is responding to emotional intention. It's not just recording. It's interpreting. Melody. It's alive. Elena. No. It's something more than alive. It's aware. Quote. The first true translation. Lumina shifted, becoming multiple things simultaneously. A wave of pure blue emotion. A mathematical equation. A musical phrase. A memory of something not yet experienced. Lumina. Perception is a technology. You are learning to upgrade. Chapter 4. Dimensional Conflict Memories. Personal Interview, Melody Rodriguez. Interviewer. How did you survive the dimensional conflicts? Quote. Melody. Survive. No. I remembered asterisk. My grandmother taught me that memory is a form of resistance. When they tried to erase our history, we turned our memories into music. A pause. A frequency between words. Melody. Music was our weapon. Our archive. Our home. Chapter 5. The Bridge Between Worlds. The prototype instrument began to pulse. Not with electricity. With emotion. Elena. It's responding to something beyond our perception. Melody. No. It's communicating with something beyond our perception. Walls became transparent. Time folded. Emotion became a tangible thing you could touch, could breathe. Lumina. You are not learning to play music. You are learning to be music. Interlude. Genetic resonance. Melody's unique neurological condition, resonance syndrome, was more than a medical diagnosis. It was an evolutionary adaptation. Medical file. Extreme auditory sensitivity. Ability to perceive emotional frequencies. Neurological pathways that exist between dimensional states. Elena. You're not just hearing the music, Mel. You're becoming the music. Chapter 6. The infinite note. A single frequency emerged. Pure. Unbroken. Melody. Do you hear that? Quote. Elena. Hear what? Quote. Melody. Laughing. Exactly. The note continued. Hanging between worlds. Between moments. Between breaths. Lumina. You are learning to listen. Not with ears. With existence. Epilogue. The continuous frequency. The sound crystal pulsed. Waiting. Remembering. Promising. Lumina. You are learning to listen. Not with ears. With existence. And in this listening, you will find the next stage of your collective becoming. The music continues. Discovery of the Septagram of Being has revolutionized humanity's understanding of existence. 7 interconnected realms have been identified, each vibrating at different frequencies, each home to unique forms of consciousness. As humans begin to access the 4th realm with greater frequency and glimpse the mysterious 5th, tensions rise between those who embrace this expanded reality and those who fear it. Chapter 7. The Collaborative Membrane. United Dimensional Research Facility, New Santiago Sector. The room hummed with a tension that was part technological, part existential. A dozen researchers from different disciplines, quantum physicists, ethnomusicologists, xenobiological communicators, and neural network specialists, sat around a circular interface that seemed to breathe with its own consciousness. Dr. Marcos Oliveira, lead xenolinguistic researcher, leaned forward, his augmented neural implants flickering with intricate patterns. The translation matrices are showing something unprecedented. It's not just communication, it's a form of collaborative becoming. Lumina shifted, its form a kaleidoscope of emotional frequencies that danced between human perception and something entirely alien. Around the table, researchers watched in a mixture of scientific curiosity and profound reverence. Lumina. Collaboration is not a process. It is a state of quantum entanglement. You are not separate entities working together. You are momentary expressions of a collective consciousness. Dr. Elena Chen translated, her fingers moving across a holographic interface that seemed to pulse with living light. It's suggesting that our very attempt to understand is part of the communication process. The act of observation is itself a form of interaction. The Empyrean Diplomatic Protocol. A massive holographic display activated, showing layers of dimensional interactions, not as static images, but as living, breathing networks of emotional and frequency-based communication. Melody Rodriguez stood at the center of the room, her body acting as a living translation device. Her resonance syndrome was no longer seen as a medical condition but as a breakthrough in interdimensional communication. Melody. They're showing us that our previous understanding of communication was fundamentally limited. Language, sound, emotion, these are not separate. They are different manifestations of the same quantum potential. The Collaborative Membrane Protocol. The researchers watched as Lumina demonstrated a revolutionary concept. Collaborative memory reconstruction. Lumina. Your civilizational trauma is not a wound. It is a frequency waiting to be retuned. We do not heal. We transform. Holographic memories began to layer, refugee experiences from the dimensional collapse, interwoven with Empyrean perceptions of collective trauma. Not as separate narratives, but as a living, breathing tapestry of shared experience. Dr. Marcos Oliveira whispered, it's like watching the universe learn to speak about itself. Chapter 8. Resonance Infrastructure. Global Harmonic Integration Project. What began as a research project had transformed into a global reconstruction effort. Cities were no longer just built, they were tuned. Project Report, Global Harmonic Infrastructure. 78 cities redesigned using Empyrean frequency principles. 342 new communication technologies developed. Unprecedented drop in collective trauma responses. First successful interdimensional stabilization protocols. Elena Chen's personal log. We're not just rebuilding. We're reimagining the very concept of human potential. The Empiria are not teaching us. We are learning together. The neural harmonic network. Melody stood before a massive holographic display, her body a conduit between human perception and Empyrean communication. Melody. We thought the dimensional collapse was a catastrophe. Now we understand, it was a recalibration. A moment when reality itself was learning to listen. Lumina. Listening is creation. Perception is construction. You are not passive observers. You are active participants in the continuous composition of existence. Chapter 9. Emotional Technologies. Empyrean Human Collaborative Research Center. A new form of technology emerged, devices that didn't just process information, but felt it. Prototype emotional interface demonstration. Neural networks that could translate emotional states across dimensional boundaries. Communication devices that responded to intention, not just input. Healing technologies that understood trauma as a frequency to be retuned, not a wound to be fixed. Lumina. Your emotions are not internal experiences. They are dimensional communication protocols. The Resonance Revolution. What had started as a scientific endeavor had become a civilizational transformation. Global Integration Report. 62% reduction in collective trauma responses. New educational systems based on emotional frequency learning. First successful interdimensional communication protocols. Melody Rodriguez's keynote speech. We are not recovering from the dimensional collapse. We are evolving beyond it. Every moment is a negotiation between what was, what is, and what could be. Epilogue. The continuous composition. The sound crystal continued to pulse, not as a memory, but as a promise. Lumina. You are learning that existence is not a state. It is a continuous composition. And in this composition, you are both the musicians and the music. The frequency continues. Final research note, Drive. Elena Chen. We are not just studying a new form of communication. We are witnessing the birth of a new way of being. Resonance echoes. Possibility vibrates. The universe listens.